Let's get it. It's good to be here. Been busy afternoon. Broski, shout out to the Broski man. He's here to pop you up. Broski man. Shout out to all those who are already in. Appreciate those this morning. Really enjoyed the Sunday morning in the Word. I was, well, it wasn't my wife's foot. It was my granddaughter's. We've got like a, what was the dude? It was the dude in, was it Charlie Brown? I don't know. Which one was it where they walked around, they had the rain cloud following them everywhere they went? That's what I feel like right now. I know God's in control. He's taking care of us, but it's like it is raining on the Cordales right now. I mean, like, we've had so much going on. And no, you're good. My wife has had health problems. She's fell a couple of times. She was the one. She fell in the restaurant. She's had a couple of strokes. We're just trying to get her stronger. She's making progress, slow and steady. But yesterday, while I was at work, my granddaughter calls me and says, "I think I broke my foot." I don't think it's broke. I think it's a bad sprain. She's already better on it. She limped to go spending out with a friend. We're going to check it out tomorrow. If need be, we'll do x-rays. This girl is, I love her to death. I just call her Crash. She's injured both shoulders, both wrists. Oh, my goodness. And now, we've had foot problems before, too. She plays hard. I don't know. But anyway, just a lot of stuff going on. And we just fought through. We are so excited today, as you saw the background. In the morning is the official kickoff, but we got an early start. In the morning, there'll be special promos up and a video that will not be seen until in the morning to start the morning show. I think Rob doesn't even know about this. Went to early mass at 7:30 a.m. Awesome. We had a good day at church, had a really good time on this morning. A lot of folks in the house celebrating the Lord. Had a great time. Good afternoon. Got a lot of work done. We're finishing up with the coffees and just getting that off. We've got more news coming. I mean, I'm so excited, but it's going to be a couple of weeks on the next bit of news, and it's pretty massive for us. I think all these are massive, and just getting all these tied together. But all of what we're doing will help us to be better at what we do. And it's going to be a big year for us. It already has been. And I'm not cocky. It's not a brag. It's a blessing. We are excited about bringing more and more programming. I have it out there right now, Rumble and I'm not sure if it's going to be. It'll probably go live, but it'll be whether it's live or recorded. It'll be a program that will go on Saturday night. It's been on the drawing board for, my gosh, almost a year. I mean, this goes way back to the early days of the podcast. The first shows we came up with were Mama Said and Front Porch. Those were the first two, and I think the third one was the Hump Day. And then there was a couple other little things we did in the early days. We kind of combined them into Southern Talk, which I've taken over, and Rob kind of does that. Cornbread Nation will come along later. That was a creation that I just felt like very strong about. It's been great. And there's some other shows that we have, but way back when, there was a show called Southern Fried Soundstage. I've had a background for it forever, and the original intent was to get artists to come on and play, and their original material, what they wrote, what they play. That just didn't happen. I've talked to people. It's an amazing thing. You give an outlet to somebody and they don't shoot. It's like, okay, whatever. I mean, all right, it's free. I mean, that'll come later. So I got really fired up about it here a couple of weeks ago, and I said, you know what, I've had enough time of waiting. So I've scheduled the first one, and I'm going to. It'll either be live or recorded this week, but it'll debut on Saturday night. I'll probably record this one. We'll see. It'll be with me, and we're going to talk. We'll play some original music that we have, but we'll talk music groups and music in general. And the first episode is going to cover the rock group Def Leppard, which I'm very familiar with. I've followed them for a long, long time, ever since I was 15 years old. And that's going to be the discussion point because we couldn't cover everything within the time frame that we have for that. But I got lots of stories. I know a lot about them, and we'll have fun discussing that. So each week we'll choose a new artist, and along the way we'll probably have some people play. But we're going to kick that off. Along with that, a history show that I'm trying to get a historian to come on with me. Don't know if that's going to happen, but the show will go on. Whether they come or whether they don't. Sometimes you got to build it before they come. That's okay. But we're gonna start a history show. Primarily, the history will be around the war between the states, but we'll talk about any history. It doesn't matter to me. But each week we will be talking about. I am surrounded by tons of that history, and I love that history, and have read many, many books and been in many, many battlefields. I've been not the best, but I've been a Civil War reenactor, and have been involved with that for many, many years. Just some of the like passions I have. When we first started, I had a lot of things that I wanted to be about, and some of them are just now coming online because we just had to really build everything and get it going, figure out what we was going to do. So the sports show, the racing show, all those things were things that I was excited about. News, which is tonight. We're going to talk about news. We're going to bring up a list here in a few minutes. Explosive news out of Washington. That's just preparatory for you. Just a few minutes. Hope you got your coffee. By the way, the QR code on that. Let me get. I never do. Anyway, that is just some of the coffees. I have had the house blend. I've had the breakfast blend. I've had the 6-bean. I've had every one of them. And there's 40 of them. I haven't had all 40, but and there's a couple of more that I've had. I've had 6, I think, total of our coffees. And in our merch store, we're going to put up the mugs. Our original intent was to have them on the bag. That is our logo. They loved it. It's very professional. We've always done. Thanks, Chris. If you ever watch this, he really put that together. Chris helped us in the early days of the forming of the podcast. And well, no, I can drink coffee up to bedtime, man. I just can't drink tea. Like if I drink tea, I'll stay up all night. But I can drink. I'll cut off, here soon, shortly. But I can drink it all the way to bed because I'm a night owl. But original intent was to put all the different logos and different blends. Well, the FDA, they've got some things, and it was just we could get it done, and we'll get it done over time. We'll probably be able to do that, but it's one at a time. Get it approved. There's a cost to it. So I said, you know what? To heck with it. We'll just put them on the coffee mugs if you want. And the mama said, I love how that logo turned out. The Patriot morning blend, I love how that turned out. And Front Porch Smooth, all these are ones that we came up with, and we're going to put them on mugs in the merch store. So we'll be doing that over the next week or so. But it's great. And well, thank you, brother. And just to kind of talk about that just for a second, there's a lot of Southern Fried out there. Even Southern Fried podcast, this podcast, that, but nobody was really Southern Fried podcast. It was always Southern Fried True Crime podcast, which is a big one out there. If you look us up on YouTube, we're right underneath that one. They've been there. My understanding is they're very liberal. They probably hate our guts. It's okay. Nothing against them. Hope they do well. And they've been out there for a long time. But there's all kinds of things. So but we've also had this Cornbread Nation thing going on. So it's really the idea all the way was to create a media umbrella that really all this would fit under. And we knocked around some names, but when it came time to make it a business, and it is a business, we just combined them up. So the official, and it's the name of our website, which is scrolling along the bottom. Southern Fried Cornbread Nation is the name of the business. And we didn't find anybody that had that. So it's unique. But the SFP is the main push off. And then we do a lot of things under the Cornbread Nation. So depending on what it is what we do with that. But if you look at professional logos, and again, this is not a brag, but if you look at professional logos and you look at them I've been at Chamber of Commerce events. I've seen them on screens with other high dollar companies. And sometimes they don't put a lot of money in their logo. I don't know why. That really is a marketing thing. And ours stands up with anybody's. When you look at it, some of them are wonderful. They're awesome. And some of them are just and some of them are bad. It's like it's the most bland looking thing. You see it on a page and you're like, that's just ours jumps off the page. And we're so thankful for that. So why not? We just put it on the coffees. You can pick your blends. And I got teas as well. And we'll be talking a lot about that. So anyway, but just to kind of tell some of the story of that is kind of what I wanted to do, just to and the Cornbread Nation is where we came up with the idea for the breadhead. So if you're and this is my chamber hat, the business is actually a member of the Walker County Chamber of Commerce, and we're also members of the Colquitt Chamber of Commerce. Rob is down there. So we, in the area we are, we're a member of the chambers. And we're active with them. And I go to chamber events and stuff for the area that I'm at. He does the same thing. And I've been down there with him. We walked into the chamber together. I didn't get to go to the festival the last time, just some things going on here. I will be at this one. And we will go to Camilla this next weekend. And we will be at the Swiga, the Ag Fest down there, and thank goodness it's indoors. So we'll do shows all week. I've got elections Tuesday, so probably if there's any recording Tuesday by me, it'll be early. I may not do any. It may do a recorded because we have to be at the precinct by 6 because I'm usually there by 5:30, and I don't get home. I'm not going live. I did that last time. Go live when I get home by 10:30. So I'll probably do that on Tuesday. After the show on Friday morning, I'm going to be loading up the family. We're going to head south, and we should be fine for Front Porch on Friday night. Saturday will be a live stream for the festival, 10 to 4, and we'll talk to people and interview. We're really going to push our name out there while we're there and have a good time. Just love meeting people and getting them introduced to the Southern Fried and meet. We're people persons. I mean, we go out, we meet people, we love to meet people, and that's how you get known is making yourself known. So, well, there's a lot of things going on. Like I said, big news coming. We're not ready to announce it. It wouldn't be fair. We've got some things to get done, lots to get done. This is a big kickoff tomorrow, and hopefully within 2 weeks we can announce the other. And there may be more down the road. So we'll see as things come. And I think that's why we're just fighting so hard. There's so much going on for both of us. Is we know we're doing some good stuff, and we just have all these people that. But thank you, Miss Jen. We just have all these things attacking us. I mean, that's when you're kind of over the target. I know that we always put God first in our lives, and the God is Jesus is soaking everything we do with His Spirit, and we try to be a blessing to people and help people and pray for people. It's okay. If you're not being attacked, you're not doing anything. So I welcome the attack. It's not always fun, but I welcome it because I know that God will get me through. His grace is sufficient. Praise God. And some people are not believers. You don't have to be watch the show. We don't beat anybody over the head. We are who we are. As Paul said, I am what I am by the grace by the grace of God. Go I, And well, Miss Jen, it's here. We kept we kept all of it. Me and Rob really battled over the pricing. We got a price list from them. And the great thing about this, you'll see this in our promos we're putting out. You don't got to worry about shipping. It's included in the price. I hate that. That was a big thing for me. And it was one of the best things about this whole deal. I hate it when you go to buy something. And I get it. So it's just the way some things are. You can't do everything like that. And you get a good deal on something, then you go look at the shipping. You're like, oh my gosh! It's like I paid more for the shipping than I did for the thing. This is all built in, so it's really cool. We have ordered our own coffees for the studios and did a test run on it. Mine is already shipped out. Rob's will in the morning. We tested all that out. There'll be a thank you email that will come back to you. We're working on a lot of things behind the scenes. There's some things we're just not ready for because we're not big enough, but we will be. And we hope you love it. My suggestion would be, this is my suggestion. There's 3 different sample packs, and it's all good. I haven't had but nothing I didn't like, so go for it. I mean, order what you want. But I ordered the sample pack first, and I love those. It's 6 blends, and 4 all those except maybe House Blend that was on the screen were in that sample pack, and I loved every one of them. In fact, I think I got just a little bit left here in the studio from that blend. But and then, not talking anybody into it, but we're going to put the logos on those coffee mugs so you can have the SFP coffee mug with that logo you like, and then make the coffee and put it in there, and you got it. So it's all good. But yeah, there's just I'm really excited. Great things happening. It's just going to help us be better at what we do. And like I said, you're doing something right because the battle is on. The devil is a liar and the father of it. And we've already won the war, but we will get the victory, and it's going to be fun. My wife has been through a lot. She is fully on board. She's supportive. She loves the coffees. She's going to make the trip this week. You can't keep a good woman down. She's been through it, and she's still not back, but she's going. I don't know how much she'll be around the festival. We're not sure about that yet. If all she does is goes and hangs out with my son's going. I don't know that I may have one granddaughter going. If they just hang out around the hotel and relax, that's a great time too. But yeah, the fact that she's going is huge, and I'm glad that she's able to make the journey. Later in the year, and I've only put it out there a little bit, and there will be going in the store for all those that live in our area. And it doesn't matter where you live, because I love these local legends, right? But Green Eyes, the cryptid that's supposedly in the Chickamauga National Battlefield, we're going to have, and don't tell the FDA, we're going to have some coffees at that event with Green Eyes labeling. I don't know if I should say that now. I don't care. We will have some there, and we will have logos up in the store soon for Green Eyes, and we're gonna tie into that because we are going to be at that festival. I've already interviewed. In fact, that was the first festival we ever did. I went there. I didn't set up, but I went there as a roving reporter for the podcast, and I interviewed. That's how we met. Three Ravens Publishing. That's how we met Backwoods Cryptids. And we met Chattanooga, not publishing, Chattanooga, or the Walnut Street group that does all the writers and the artists and stuff. We hooked up with them and others as well, plus the person who puts it on. And they've done well. I'm proud of them. Ran into them again at a cryptid talk over at a national park. He said, "I think I know you." I said, "Yeah, I do. I know you too." And he's building this thing too. And we're going to tie him with that and be a part of it. I told him right there on the spot, we will be at that festival if you're in our area and if you like that kind of thing. Doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not. Doesn't matter. Have fun with it. It's a local legend here, and just have fun. So we're going to have merch off of that. We won't nothing to do with the festival. That's and we'll buy things from them. We're not trampling on their thing. We're just going to do our thing too, and have fun with it. But I love to go to these things. Networking is so cool. You meet people from so many different backgrounds. I've got to finish my book. And in fact, it's inspired me. I just need to finish it, finding the time. My goodness. I've got all of it up here in this clutter of a head of mine. There is, and I don't even think we still have it in here. Gosh, if we did, I would show it to you. I think we took it down because you can only keep so much in the StreamYard. I don't know if I can find it, but we used to advertise for Three Ravens Publishing all the time, and we may still have it in here. If we do, I'll throw it up because I want to show you the one that I want to do. And I think just because we were so just squeezed out on, and I've took it out because we've so many guests and stuff, and we do so many backgrounds. I don't think that I have it, but I'll try to get it and pull it up on the screen. I've got it in the pound of a mile of stuff that we have saved. But there's a series they do, which is absolutely great, and I've ordered it and I'm reading it, and I've been inspired because I've always wanted to write. I'm not any good. I'm horrible at, but you know what? I can do this. It's a short story, and I've already got it, and you're gonna think it's crazy. No, I'm not writing a book. I'm gonna, if they'll take it, they may not even take it. I'm going to write a chapter in a book. I'm going to submit it, broski, and it's God, I wish I could. I gotta see if I can find that and load it up because we have. And if I don't, I'll show it on the next show. But we have. We have this, they have this one series and it's got Elvis on the cover, and I just loved it, and they have humor in it. It's like monsters, but it's got humor, and they have a lot of different kinds of things, but it just hit me right off the bat when I first saw it, and I said, "Oh, I have got to have that," and I'm reading, and there's 4 volumes. They're probably about ready to bring a new one. I am not that far from finishing the first one. I should have already been done with it. You can read the thing in a week. If you sit and just read all day, you could probably read it in a day. I just got really busy, and I was looking to see if I could find it really quick and put it up on stage. If not, we'll find it. But we showed it a lot. I just wanted to show that cover. It's not important about me. I just wanted to show the cover. I'm going through a lot of stuff that we created way back when. And oh my goodness, I've got so many files and so many things that we have done. There is no telling where that thing is at. So I don't have it in front of me, but I'll find it. And shout out to Three Ravens Publishing. Those guys are great. Hey, man, I found it. Oh my goodness. Right at the last minute, like saved. Here it is. Let me see if I can share my screen on this one. And let's see here. Let me stop that one. I'm going to, because I've already had one thing I want to share. We're going to talk about President Trump here in just a minute. I promise. Let me see if I can find this. That's not it. That's not it. And wouldn't you know, it's been a pain in the butt. Pain in the butt. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to download it and load it up because I already have and I think it's just because I've got other things pulled up. I'm gonna save this down and bring it up. Actually, it's already to be brought up. See where I've got that. Anyway, those guys are great, and I want to write. What I was going to tell you is I had a dream. It's the craziest thing. It is absolutely the craziest thing. And I had this dream. I had the idea. Like I had this little bit of an idea. Because this is the thing I want to tell you, that it all involves trailer parks. My God, if you can't get behind something like that, you got monsters, you got trailer park, and you got Elvis. Tell me what else you need. Like, I love that. It's like, this is the coolest thing ever. And let me see if I can upload this. So anyway, I had this idea. It kind of inspired me. Because a long time ago, a guy I talked to, a writer, and he said everybody should write a book once in their life. And I'm not ready to write a book, but I really did want to write a chapter in a book. And this came along, and I said, this is absolutely what I want to do. I'm going to pull this thing up on screen because I haven't shown it in a while, and I should be doing that because we want to advertise for these guys because they're local. They're just out there getting it and building their thing. This guy works just like I do, and they're awesome. So here we go. There it is. And if you look at the one on the left there, because this is some of their books, and there's another one I made. That's the one I'm reading on right now. I need to finish it. And so let me get this out of the way. Oops, not what I meant to get out of the way. Not that one. Need the banner. But anyway, if you look at that book, there's 4 volumes. 4 volumes. And this is like the coolest thing. And you can see all the writers on it. See these folks? These are all people that just have a passion for writing. And Then there's some other books they have, and I think it's the coolest thing. Give them a shout out. Three Ravens Publishing. They're local, and they're kicking butt. But that series there, and I will see if I can load up the other one that has all three of those, or three of the four. It don't have all of them, but it has three of the four. Let me see if this is it. Yes, that's the other three. It came from the trailer park. When I went to this guy's booth, William Joseph Roberts, and he's an awesome guy. I like him. He gave us a lot of time. There's our logo. Shout out to them. Look them up if you like reading. This is a fun series. I even read the other books. They had me when I seen that title. It came from the trailer park. I was interviewing him in his booth, and I said, I got to know about this. What do you mean it came from the trailer park? Because I've never lived in a trailer park, but I've had a lot of friends and family who have, and it's just it just connected with me. So I said, man, I want to write this story, and I had a general idea about some things that happened around a real trailer park and with real people, but I wanted to get my story. And I couldn't quite think of what I wanted to do. Well, I don't know, but there's a lot of things going to be going on in the trailer park. And I had the central figure of the person who ran this trailer park. And this is very vivid in my memory. People in the trailer park. And I dreamed one night, and this is the craziest thing ever. Inspiration comes in many ways. I absolutely had a dream, and I dreamed the actual crux of this story. Absolutely. It was just given to me in a dream. I woke up and I said, that's it. Because I had the trailer park. I had the characters. I didn't have the story. Like I didn't have who were the bad people? Who were the people that were doing, and some of these people are not bad. They're just alien, they're aliens or whatever, they're not the Mexico, they're from other planets or whatever. But in this case, for mine, it was bad people. And only one double wide in the whole place. It was her, the lady who ran the place. I think she had a double wide, and the office right in the center. So this trailer park is single wides all the way around. And she was a very dominant figure in this trailer park, and everybody loved her. And, I didn't want her to be the bad person in this. Although, without giving it away, that's kind of what's going to start out the story. And then it leads to other things. But in the dream, I was given from wherever. I woke up and I said, that's it. And all I got to do is put it on paper. All I got to do. And we'll submit it. And if they reject it, but I'm still going to write it. And they'll probably have to fix it all up, as loosey-goosey and dumb as I am. I just throw myself at projects. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. And that's legit. I'm not making that up. I'm just a stubborn guy. And I think you ain't beating me, and I'll get in there and figure it out. And I don't mind asking for help, resources. I've asked people since the time we've had the podcast. I have talked to gamers. I've talked to people who are computer geeks, nerds, smart people, and I say, hey, I don't want you to do it for me. What I want you to do is put me on the right path. Show me what I need to do, because this is what I'm looking to do. And they've always been a help. And so I'll reach out to these people, and hopefully they'll help us, dumb old boy. And I'm not a boy anymore. I turned 60. I promise we're going to news. I'm just having fun. I turned 60. I told my church today, I said, I'm officially old. It just hit me Saturday morning. I officially figured out that I was old. And it came in a most surprising way. It was very abrupt, very quick, very, like, how in the world does this happen? How like all of a sudden I just figured like I'm old. And I love the girl Deb. She's great at what she does at the drive-thru of this restaurant I go to. And the other day I went there and she goes, hey, Pops. And it's like, Pops, what the heck? I have never had anybody call me Pops except my kids will say it. They'll say it sometimes because they call me Daddy. They don't call me Dad. They call me Daddy. But every once in a while, my oldest son, he'll say, "Hey, Pops." He just likes saying it. Uh, I have never heard that from anybody until that day. I was with Pops. Oh, I have crossed over. You dang right I want my senior discount now if I'm Pops. So before I leave this earth, I want to do this. I'm going to do it. Grow myself, pour myself into this story, and just see what comes out. And they're not long. That's the beauty of this. I don't know the word count. I need to reach out. I'm gonna do the story. Then I'll submit it to the editor and let them do what they need to do. What is the explosive Washington news? Well, I thank you for that. There is explosive Washington news. Absolutely. You've probably already heard it. So, but thanks for asking. And I am segueing. Thank you for the segue. The explosive Washington news is twofold. But first of all, before we go to explosive Washington news, you're thinking, "Oh man, I can't believe he's doing this." I wanted to let me get this pulled up. I want to get your opinions because this ties in with it. And let me see if I can find. All right. This is President Trump's 20 promises to the American people. Let me blow that up just a little bit more. Hope you can see that. All right. So there is a controversy going on in Washington right now, and it is right in the heart of MAGA. Absolutely right in the heart of MAGA. And if we're not careful, MAGA is going to split. And if you think I'm crazy with that, all you're going to need to do is peruse some of the sites and see what's going on. There's a full-on battle royale going on right now, but in the MAGA camp, and the Democrats have got to be loving this, although they're the ones that should be going to jail mostly, although I'm not going to say all. This is the explosive Washington news because the president has had to come out and make a statement. And in that statement, he has basically said, and you can go read it for yourself, go look at his statement. He basically says the list is all fabricated stuff going back to Obama and others. And he's defending his two people that are arguing. Hot rumors are that Dan Bongino will step down Monday or Tuesday from Deputy Director of the FBI. And there is a full-on war going on. I'm sure some of you are keeping up, or you may be way caught up, maybe more caught up than I am. But I want to go through this list. This list has nothing to do with Epstein. So the people on one side of the camp say there ain't thing one in here that the president said that he would do as the president. He's living up to his promises. There's a whole bunch of other people are saying BS. Well, you know that they bragged about how they were going to release these lists, and Miss Bondi was one of those. Put his quotes up here. Yeah, they are going. It's full on, but it's gotten in the camp. So Bondi, Patel, Bonbons, they all come in with a full full court press. We're going to release all this information. Remember, it wasn't just the Epstein list. It was other things. Been very little released. They were delayed in releasing. When they did release, it was a lot of redaction. This has not been the thing that's went well for the administration. And I am a Trump supporter. So, and by the way, you can't navigate this without a bunch of people attacking you on the right. You can't. I've watched podcast after podcast, and the people are attacking each other in the chats. There are people all over social media that are telling, if you question this narrative at all, that you were never a full MAGA, you were never fully supporting the president. And like I said, it's so bad right now that the president has got to come out. He's had to defend her, and he's running interference for this. But his interference, I'm having a problem with his statement, and you're welcome to go look at it. He put that on Truth Social. It's when he does those things. Go look at the statement. I'm not going to tell you how to think about it. I'm going to tell you that it's full on right now, a war. And there's going to be some people slayed out of this. Now, a lot of people want Bondi to resign. She's gone on record saying she's not. Patel's went on record saying he's not. But Bonbons, thank you, Broski, for the name. It's not been clear. But the hot rumor, the explosive news, is that he will resign first of the week. And so what do we have going on here? Do we have people that are attempting to cover this up because there's so many people involved? We know the dark web released the list, right? We've seen lots of it, maybe all of it. If that is the list was released right after all this happened. And so that's been going on over the weekend. Hey there, James. And how you doing, buddy? And so you've got this war that's going on. And I mean it. Like I said, there are people that they're on all sides of this. And you're being questioned on your loyalty to the president if you question this list at all. I don't care. I mean, I really don't care. I've never went by the beat of a drum of a group anyway. And it really doesn't matter to me if they challenge my loyalty to anything, because I don't answer those people anyway, and they can smack their gums all they want. I really don't give a crap. I'm just saying that the statement for me was, I just didn't, brother. I've been looking for you. I need to get over and give you some chats. I'm sorry I missed that. I've been busy today. We've been getting busy with our coffees and stuff. But this is the list that the president says, this is what he said he was going to do. And that's true. He said he was going to do it. But the people that are saying that the president never said anything about Epstein, it's not in here. It's not in here. It's not here. Where's it at? It's not in here. That's what they're saying. There's 20 things. You won't find anything about Epstein. Well, I'm sorry. It may not be on these lists, the 20 promises to the American people. But what he did, his administration did say they were going to release this information. And now we had Patel and Bonbons come out and, defend the suicide full on. We've been complaining about that. And now he has to come out and run a protection and interference for Bondi. And is Bonbons gone? Is he going to step down? That's what the rumors are. So it is explosive, because this could be a fracturing somewhat, not full on. Don't take it wrong. The president's in charge. He's kicking butt. But it is not good. It is not good what's happened. And the left is going to seize on that, and the camps need to tighten up. Need to quit attacking each other. But to say that we can't question about this list anymore, that's bullcrap. I'm going to say it, and I've said it before. I don't care where that list leads. There is a list. I want that information, not for me personally. I want it for the nation. And I don't care who it incriminates. If you are an abuser of these girls, I will help. I will help burn you down with any information I could give. I would, because we got to protect the women. We got to protect kids. I will never defend anybody that's involved with the abuse and the human trafficking of people. And it may not be, Broski. It may not be. But I am telling you that the MAGA crowd has went totally. That's why the president had to come out. The MAGA crowd, the MAGA supporters, are in a full-on war right now. Just go on social media and look at the fighting that's going on. And I'm telling you, they're saying things to each other like, they're calling each other names. They're telling them to go on. You're not a supporter. You were never with the president. You're fake. I mean, it's full on. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Does I not have a right to say anything about it? Hey, James, you're welcome to come up if you want to, man. I know you just got busy and awful one, but you're welcome to come up if you want. For while I'm on, that's totally up to you, brother. But he's absolutely killed it on this list. Absolutely. Some of it's not done yet. Your opinions on it. Seal the border, stop the migrant invasion. Well, that's in process. right? That's in process. That he is get done. So he says, send me a link. Hang on. Hang on. Let me find the link in place here. Oh, here we go. Let me find that. Da, 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 da. You know, when you work by yourself, it's hard to get good help. You know, it's really hard to get good help. So you do the best you can. Let me find your email. There you are. There you are. Because you're more than welcome to come up and talk about this. But I just want opinions about it because it may not be much of anything, but Miss Christina says, Trump supporter here who ain't buying this narrative about no files, no list, no whatever, done, end of story, moving on till the smoke clears. I understand. But there, the question is who's doing the covering here? Who's running the interference? You know, what in the world is going on? So I support the president. This is not an attack on the president. This is saying I don't believe that. And to me, that sometimes the president will exaggerate. We know that. He says things that are very controversial. Sometimes it's just to get people's, to make them say stuff, to poke fun out. He does that. But this statement that he comes out and he says that Obama and all them, just like Russia, the dossier, the Russia, all that stuff is fully made up, and that the list was made up by them. Where the heck that come from? Obama did. I mean, I got a love for Obama. He's on the list, wasn't he? I mean, the list I've seen, Biden's on it, Hillary's on it, Bill's on it. I mean, about everybody that's been anybody's on the list, especially from the left. Dershowitz is on it. I mean, if that's the list, no details. We just got names. Hello, James. How you doing, buddy? This is James, the Empty Pockets podcast on Rumble. If you don't have a Rumble, app, what's wrong with you? Get one and follow Brother James here at the Empty Pockets podcast. So, what's your take, James? I mean, what the heck? This has been an amazing weekend, and I think it's sad. We shouldn't be arguing amongst each other, but I don't like the statement that the president made. It's okay to question things. We need a clarification.
Yeah, I don't know how much you've already. I don't know how much you've already talked about because I've.
Go ahead, brother. It don't matter.
But I seen where they put it. Somebody put out on the you call it dark web or whatever a better completed list of the flight logs. The thing is about these flight logs is most of this nefarious stuff happened on an island. The uber rich and uber powerful that might be part of this Epstein story probably never traveled to that island on his plane because most of the uber rich have yachts that can travel thousands and thousands of miles without refueling. And if they're not a charter yacht, they don't have to register where they're going. So they're allowed to travel the seas basically undetected. So the people that I really would like to see on this list, we're probably not going to see on this list because they never was on his plane.
I mean, we know the Arab sheiks do this commonly, the 24-hour marriage, divorce of young girls. That happens every day, folks. Every day, the abuse of young girls, they force them into marriage, they abuse them, and then they divorce them the next day. It's bullcrap. It's evil.
The thing I have about, and because this yacht, this is my theory. This is not something somebody else said because I have a thing. I follow yachts. I like yachts. I'll probably never ever be on a yacht, let alone own one. But the amount of technology on these yachts that are being built today for the super rich and powerful. I mean, when you have a yacht that's $100 million plus, and even one guy's got a yacht that costs $1 billion to build, they have anti-missile defense systems on them. And these people, they're hard to track because if they're not as part of the charter deal where you have to register as maritime, law and policies when you're traveling with what they call souls on board. That has nothing to do with staffing or personal people who don't pay to be on the yacht.
Right.
So they can travel anywhere in the world without almost being completely undetected. Now, saying this, here's people. And think about how many hundreds of thousands of children, if not more, now over the last 60 years, 50 years, we probably will never see again. And you know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
So what's the easiest way to dispose of something you never want to have speak of something? You go out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and you let the ocean eat it up.
Yeah.
There'll never be any evidence of anything ever happening because those individuals will no longer be here. I'm in fear of, and I hope I'm wrong, but something tells me I'm not, that a lot of these children, young adults that may have been young, some of them would be in their 40s now, we'll never see. We'll never hear. They'll never step forward because they're not here with us anymore. That's what these are the people I want held accountable for.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's one thing. And it's amazing that they even had a witness at all. And then what happened?
She
passed away recently.
Yes.
So one way or another, they figure out how to get rid of their witnesses.
And out of all of this, there's one person that's in jail. This big operation, massive, involved the world, millions and millions, billions of dollars, and one person's in jail.
It's amazing she's still breathing.
I'm shocked, to be honest. I've often said, it doesn't matter that you haven't said anything. It's what you know. And nobody wants to risk somebody finally going, you know what, I'm doing a tell-all book or whatever. Right. This involves, it's a worldwide, perverted endeavor that was generating a lot of money. And this guy, extremely wealthy, and they were always able to find, it's sadly always been that way. They've been able to find girls that were willing, however they came into it. Some came into it with the promise of making some easy money, not to do that, but were, prep to go into that. And then others may have known what they're getting into, didn't care because they may have come from abusive families. And, but just, it's amazing. This massive operation. And one person's dead, and now more than that, and one's in jail.
Yep. And the victim. So now we know of two people, which is sad because. So we have, and then they had the prince of whatever, what was he? The UK relative. Was it Prince Andrew?
Yes.
Is that his name? So, yes. But he basically wasn't held accountable for anything either.
No, he just basically had to give up any hope of ever being, any kind of a king or anything. He's still filthy rich, and he still gets to ride around and enjoy all the royal trappings. He didn't get invited to some things, but he's not in jail.
Exactly. That's it. That's his punishment. He doesn't get invited to the big parties.
Yeah.
So he gets to live in his villa or his countryside mansion out the rest of his days and never be held accountable for anything.
And that was the deal. And, what does he know? If they were going to burn him down, he probably was the type of guy that was willing to burn down other people with him. And so they gave him the out and, punished him, quote unquote, punished him. But, yes, Miss Christina, I think there is connections. And I want to try to just
absolutely
tie all this together. First, I want to go there. Thank you for saying that, because I do want to go there, because the president, this is the other explosive news. I said there was two things. The other thing is there's rumors the president's fixing to get really tough on Russia. That's a whole nother thing I wanted to get to tonight. But what we don't know, we know there was an argument that happened. Some say it wasn't with Bondi, now it was with the other lady. Whatever. We know there was a massive argument. What we don't know the fully what that argument was about. Was it about the Epstein list? That's been the rumor, that Was he putting pressure on her to do a better job of getting information out there? Because actually, him and Patel, they're scorched earth on them right now, and we know that. And every podcast you hear, in the press, everywhere you go, that even Carl was even talking about last night on his show, where Bongino's on, he's still social media. He's getting excoriated in the comments. I mean, people are mad at this guy. Like, hey, wait, you're supposed to be the rock star. What are y'all doing? You know, they have done some things. They have arrested some people, sex trafficking and all that. But people want what they want. They were promised this, and it didn't happen. Is this the entirety of what this battle is over? And why leave? Is he been threatened? Is he just like, I can't do anything? Is he needing the money? I mean, what do you think, James? Why would he step down when the president says, I support the guy? He's a good guy. He's doing a good job.
I think he got caught off guard, and here's why. Pam Bondi, for months now, has been teasing every interview she does. If she gets asked about the Epstein list, we're reviewing it. There's a lot of stuff to go through. We're reviewing it. It's going to be coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. They even had conservative like live stream podcasters that is not the alternative news outlets. They invited them up to the White House, and then they come out with those big 3-wing binders. They pretty much got ambushed. They come out that door, and Pam Bondi and them already had reporters out there stage that said something's important is going to come out that door. And it's all these conservative alternative news people holding up that 3-ring binder. And then when we finally get to see it, it's stuff that's 10 years plus old that was nothing new. So she's been teasing this stuff. And then all of a sudden, because it looks like she was prepared almost to say something that day when the president said, why are we still talking about this? Let's talk about, things that, that's already out here, what we need to talk about. I think he had a little bit of frustration because he gets asked so much stuff that's not related to what they're there for that moment. You know, whenever he goes and does a signing for something, they ask him, the other stuff that's just basically clickbait. And so he gets frustrated with that. So maybe he was frustrated that day and just that. And it looked like I said, looked like she was prepared. If you watch her body language, like she was getting ready to say something, and then the president said something else, and then she said something. You can't tease for months that we got something. We just can't put it out there. We're protecting the victims. We're doing this. We're doing that. And then all of a sudden, well, this is just regular kiddie porn. There's nothing that we'll ever show because there's nothing in here that, catches anybody in the act of anything. As far as the people supposedly on this list, there's nothing to see here. How do you go to, we got it, it's coming to you till there's nothing to see here? That's the problem. That's what Dan Bongino, he's been taking the hits. Him and Cash Patel have been both taking the hits for months. You're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. What about this? Why ain't you investigating that? Whatever about this list. Because they supposedly were part of the list or to knowledge of the list because they work for Pam Bondi. Well, it looks like they wasn't part of any of that investigation. So it caught him off guard and he got pissed off about it.
Sure. And I said last week, and I'm coming to your comments, Christina, because I really want to go there because this is right dead center into Ukraine. And I'm fixing to put your comments up. That the administration looked totally off kilter. There were the White House, the Justice Department, there were 3 different entities. They all made statements, and every one of them was different than the other concerning Ukraine. And the president had to clean it up a little bit. But this goes all the way back to the bombing of Iran, too. There's been some, I don't know if it's a battle for the wheels or if it's, somebody trying to get the president's ear or trying to burn somebody down. But this administration doesn't look like it's together sometimes on some of the biggest stories that are going on. There's different information that's being brought out. I want to bring up Christina's comments. And Secretary Hegseth has stopped war support in Ukraine only be reversed by POTUS. And the body language of Hegseth and Ratliff in that video where Trump says he will restart sending arms, you can't unsee that. And that goes right along with what I'm saying. What the heck is going on? You have you have one part of the administration is saying well, we're not going to do that no more, and then a total reversal. And now I don't know. There is talk that the president may be fixing to put some really tough talk to Russia to the point where and this is making the whole America First crowd mad too. Like, get the heck out of there. Get home, protect home. Let's finish this list off that I put up, and whatever. And NATO's going to get involved, but it seems like he's re-engaging. It's like he was pulling away. He slowed the weapons down. Now the weapons have been sped back up, and one said, Hegseth, and others, well, we're running out. Our stocks are getting low, and now they say, oh, there's plenty. Well, let's send them on. They need them. It just doesn't look like they're together, man. It looks like it's like they're caught off guard. It's like, my God, he's out there saying that. Let's get a press conference together because this is not right. And I just expect this far into this term, something weird is happening. And it's up to the president to really put the hammer down and stop it. But he's got some rogue agents going on that are doing their own thing, I think.
Well, also, the president is guilty of this big time because he's usually, when he says a statement and everybody is scrambling to it's not on message with this department or that department, his people who heads these departments up. The thing is, the president's always been guilty of it. He did it during his first term. It's like he may have had a conversation with a world leader, like could have been Putin or Zelensky or whoever, and that he's got it in his head. This is what I want to do going forward. And he tends to say stuff to the reporters before he's actually had a time to have a conversation with his own group. This is what I think he's guilty of. It's like he's changed his mind on a certain subject, and he talks about it without actually going behind closed doors and having a conversation to make sure the message is on par and we're all saying the same thing. He's been guilty of that since he became president the first time.
Yeah,
and I think he's just that's one thing he needs to do better at is don't get ahead of his own people, because he tells them one thing and then they get this messaging out, but then things change and he flips. He makes decisions on a dime. Y'all know this. He works off the top. He's just like he kicks it out. It's like whatever it may be, it's his decision, and he goes with whatever information he has in front of him at the time. But the only thing is, the government and working with the public and our news outlets doesn't work that fast. They're not working as fast as President Trump's brain is. And so I think he's just guilty of that. He needs to fix that. That's the biggest flaw in his character right there. And it makes the rest of his guys look bad, like they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and I love the conversation. Continue. Thank you, Angry Conservative, Miss Cindy. They've rated into the channel. We appreciate you so very much. Y'all are awesome. Join in, and we're just talking about this. What's going on in Washington as we roll into the first of the week? What explosive things may happen? Who may resign? Ukraine. Other things that are going on that the president is on point with, and I think you make great points, James. And it's just not a good look. It's like if, for my company, it's always understood who's the communication director. This is the person that goes out and meets the press. The problem with the administration is you've got these different entities, and you're right. They go out there and they say something. Maybe they're even saying something off of what he said. And it just seems like it's disjointed. Like it's like, did we just make this up? Like, did they not pick up the phone and say, hey, we're going to have a press conference at 5. If you say anything, these are the talking points. It just doesn't seem like sometimes that's what's happening. And this thing in Ukraine, to me, I'm sick of it. I've been sick of it for a long time. And you're right. The dark stuff that's went over there with this thing, it just is ugly to me. It's a dirty thing. Hey, Eddie, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. But man, listen, I don't like Putin at all. I can't stand the dude. KGB. I mean, he's a bully on the block, and I get all that. But we know that Ukraine's had a lot of ugly, dirty stuff going on too. We probably don't know the fullness of it. But are we, are we going to, is the president going, I mean, what do you think? Is he going to just continue jimmying along here and giving them the weapons? And because Ukraine is losing a little bit every day, Russia is making advances through that country, and something's got to happen. Either he's going to just continue to take it over, or dude's going to step down and say, throw up the white flag, or something big's going to happen. I mean, like, is NATO going to get involved, even though they're not NATO? Is there going to be some sort of an event that happens, manufactured even, that drags NATO and us into this crap? That's my fear right now, man, that there's an event that happens that pulls us in.
Yeah, and I don't put it past Zelensky to do that, the false flag attack. Like, he may do something and make it appear to the rest of the world like it's Russia doing it and not them. Maybe have something happen in another country that's joined to theirs, that would cause NATO to get involved. And I don't put it past Zelensky, because Zelensky here's the thing with Putin. You don't have to like him. You don't have to like the way his country is ran. But it's his country. It's the people. If the people don't like Putin, they can do something about it, just like we do something about things that happen here. We can't. The thing is how can we treat Russia as such a villain, but yet we want to always be China's friend?
Yeah.
When, in my opinion, China is worse than Russia.
Sure. I'd agree with that. Absolutely. And hello, Polly. Won a Cracker 2022. I love the name. Hi from Brisbane, Australia. Down under. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. God bless you. Broski says we need to build up our military, not give stuff away. It's too late to stop Russia. We need to give Russia half of Ukraine and call it. And they do have a full fifth of that nation now. And but it just feels like this sticky, ugly thing that we're kind of, and howdy to you, that we're getting pulled into. And I know President Trump wants to be done with it, but he keeps pulling back in. It reminds me of The Godfather, when Michael Corleone, he's trying to go all legit, and he's like, keep pulling me back in. And I just feel like we're getting pulled back in, man.
Well, the thing is people act like Ukraine has been such an outstanding fighter against Russia. About, this should have been something that could have been handled in a couple of weeks instead of now we're going into 3 years.
Yeah.
The thing is I have a theory for that. Is Putin has the abilities to do that. How we do a shock and awe on somebody, to where we hit it with overwhelming force that they have to submit. We can pound them in the ground before we even put the first boot on the ground. Russia could have done that. They have the military equipment to do that with. The thing is that I think he's trying to not destroy the entire infrastructure of Ukraine, because he wants to have people that he's in control of live there, instead of have to spend the money to rebuild it all up for the next 10 years, because you can destroy something in a minute or two, and it may take you years to build back. So I think he's just been strategically trying to take out certain parts of Ukraine so he won't have to worry about the rebuild of the entire country. Saying that, he's going to get aggravated, and it's coming real soon, to where he might as well say, you know what, screw this. I'm going to prove to everybody that Ukraine is no match for us, and do a shock and awe, and just do it in a week.
Well, there's no doubt he was pissed off and very angry on those planes getting hit, that operation, which, for all of its being able to pull it off, it's a Hail Mary. It was a Hail Mary by Zelensky. He was trying to show that we're in this thing. We can take it to them, give us the money, give us the weapons. They've been sitting on that for a while. It was a Hail Mary, but there's been nothing behind it, really. I mean, nothing. And he has suffered massive record numbers of missiles and drones coming into the nation from Russia ever since. It's the worst bombing that's been going on since it started. And you're right. I think he is losing patience, and there's one thing about him. He's got a huge ego. He don't like to look bad. And that one ticked him off. And it wouldn't take much to tip him over to the side of, let's just drop Kyiv to the ground. I could see that happening, man.
That's what I mean. Shock and awe. because people think it's Russia's on their own. They're not. Russia has the backing of China, North Korea, Iran, and a few other countries over there in the Middle East that he completely has the ability to get any ordinance that he needs to just decimate Ukraine, just make it a parking lot. And I think he's just trying not to do that.
Here's what I always worry about. Two things here. First is this has been a thorn in the side of the president since he came back in office, because he said, "I'll stop that thing like that." Not been able to do it. He thought he was close, didn't happen. Number two is, and not to dredge it back up, but it's going to be in the media. The whole Epstein story is, they're getting killed by this story right now. What a perfect time to have Ukraine, Russia, a war scenario come up where we're not fully at war with Russia or anything like that, but we do something crazy, like we give Air Force or air support to Ukraine. Or so that's what I worry about, to drown this story out and put everybody's attention back over. Because if you think about it, the Ukraine story has almost died out. People are not paying attention to it too much. It's just been a little bit here and there. We used to get daily reports about this. Even if he does a massive drone and missile hit in Ukraine now, it's like an afterthought to the story. I worry there's going to be some sort of event happen that puts this back in the public eye, the news eye, and drop some of these things lower that's going on right now. That's causing the administration some heartburn.
Yeah, and not to get off topic, there's something to me that is more important right now trust me, these Epstein list and all, and I've been saying, we'll go back to the Epstein list. They've had over 4 years to destroy any evidence of the super rich and super powerful in this world that will never see the light of day, because they didn't hide it from Pam Bondi and them. They have physically destroyed this type of evidence. Guarantee it. So we'll never really ever see and have being able to hold account the uber rich and uber powerful in this world. So saying that, to me, that is an important story. But these ambushes on these ICE agents, to me, is more important right now, because this is happening right now. We're dealing with people who so far, the only death has been one of the shooters, but a couple ICE agents have been injured. They've been shot. What's it going to take? Because ICE agents, they're not in the business to have to defend themselves just to transport illegal aliens from one place to another. Their job is to go in, they raid a certain area, they get the people that they're after, and then they get back to their facility. And then if there's somebody they snatched up, everybody talks about it's horrible that a citizen gets detained. Well, that happens anywhere you go. And I used this scenario on my live stream earlier. Let's say something pops off inside of a nightclub. There's 300 people in this club, and let's say something pops off and a few people got hurt, maybe somebody got killed. Well, they lock down the entire club and everybody gets detained until they figure out who's who has nothing to do with the story, and then they let them go and they move on. So they're acting like it's a big deal. Certain people get detained for a few hours. They're acting like they're getting kidnapped off the street or something. The thing is now ICE agents are getting ambushed. You watch the videos where they're throwing bricks and rocks through these vans. And if you watch some of the videos, it's like some of these people inside these vans are getting hurt. There's no way they're not getting hurt with these bricks and rocks being thrown through the glass of these vans. And then now they're getting shot at. Now these people they found a gun range that has a gun club that these people are doing their training with, this Antifa people. The security for one of those No King protesters where that one guy got shot and killed, these people were trained at this gun range. So now they're getting to be just like the conservative side. Everybody says, well, they don't want a civil war with us. We have all the guns and all the, we're better shot. Well, guess what, people? They're training. Somebody supplying them with weapons, supplying them with bulletproof vests, riot gear. They're training. They've got money behind them now, saying that we could easily beat them in a civil war. scenario is going away real quick. So now, what does the president do? These ICE agents, there's not enough of them to have to defend themselves every time they need to transport somebody somewhere. So do we bring in the military? And if that happens, what happens when they start getting shot at? Well, the military shoots first and asks questions later. So even though these people would be actually guilty of ambushing an ICE, let's say, convoy of transporting these illegal aliens, when a portion of their group gets killed, especially if it's somebody that's there that's not carrying a weapon, they're just in the group. It's just gonna be bad news. It's the narrative will be put all over mainstream media how Trump is treating this country like he's the king, and the Gestapo's after everybody, this kind of thing, when it should be something from. But not to get too far off there, I think that's the more important story to me. Is protecting these ICE agents just trying to do their job.
Well, we've got a mayor in LA who has openly and bragging about her opposition to the federal authorities.
Karen Bass,
Karen Bass, and is being hostile. And she, to me, I think this lady should be removed from her office. She is, she's committing crimes against the nation, to me. And you cannot do that. You just cannot side with criminal elements against our nation, and it needs to be dealt with. The governor as well. He's backed off some. She's been more mouthy, but he's also doing that. Yeah, they're going down to Alligator Alcatraz and they're trying to drum up stories and make it sound like that it's just the most, like they're down in a pit, down with the alligators or something. These people are so stupid. But there's sadly people that believe that crap, and they're just trying to stir up emotions. They're trying to stir up violence. That's exactly what they're doing.
Well, here's how pathetic that is. Did you see the press conference with Wasserman Schultz, the congresswoman from Florida?
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. Did you see her press conference where she tried to make like it's a big deal that they take a shit and brush their teeth in the same cubicle, like it's some horrific thing, like the toilet is 3 feet away from the sink that they wash their hands out of or brush their teeth out of. Apparently she's never been in a U.S. prison because your toilet is right there beside your bed and the sink is right beside the toilet. At least they put dividers up in these facilities down there in Florida. So she's trying to act like this is some outrageous thing. These people are being detained for doing something illegal in the country, not just crossing the southern border, but actually broke some other kind of law in the United States. And they're being held there until they are transported back to the country of origin or to prison, depending on what they're accused of or have been charged with. So that to me is pathetic. They try to do that. It's fake outrage. Completely fake outrage. And for those who are outraged about this, then you better get out there and protest for all U.S. prisons to be revamped, because that's just about how every single U.S. prison in this country that's how they're ran. They have to do that. Yeah. So it's not nothing inhumane, disgusting, horrible. It is what it is.
Yes. And we've got so much opposition from the judges who are trying to oppose the president. And it seems to me, and listen, I know judges have their place, but when did judges have the ability to overrule the president of the United States, who is tasked with the safety and security of the United States? That's their biggest job, is to defend this nation. And we're making rulings all over the nation to try to stop his agents, to try to stop him, to try to stop the flights going out. And that's why they were wanting to put him in this Alligator Alcatraz until their case is heard. It's not that they're going to be there forever. It's just to get them in a place so that we can get these cases settled and get them moved out or moved up or wherever they're supposed to go.
Well, they'll never be happy, because first they're saying you can't detain these people outside the U.S. borders. You know what I mean? Like going to El Salvador or something. But you know, and then they tried. Okay, we'll reopen Alcatraz and use that. They didn't like that idea. You know what I mean? So they'll say, all right, we got this land in Florida that's this old air base that's got all kinds of good facilities we can use. We'll, you know, reconstitute that piece of property into doing what we need to get done. And, you know, and then they're here until their due process is done. You know, that way they can, because everybody's hollering, well, they're not going through their due process. Well, they kind of are, but it's kind of hard to explain that to the person that don't pay attention to a lot of this stuff. They just read the headlines and they think everybody is doing something bad to these people when they're being treated quite well, actually.
They are. And thank you, Paulie. I love Gitmo, and I think we should fill that place up with some of these people. Absolutely. We got plenty of room there, plenty of Marines. We can build some more structures, bring it on. It's a good place. Get them out of the continental United States and put them on American soil. And that is American soil, Gitmo. I don't care what the Cuban state or anybody else.
Problem with that, though. You know what I mean? They had a problem with that even.
I know.
The thing is, and as far as these lower level federal judges that are they're activists on a bench, they're not doing their due diligence as a judge anymore. And case in point, look at all these judges that are getting trouble, that are stopping ICE agents from coming into their courtrooms, or even housing some of these individuals at their homes. That tells you that these judges have been compromised, and that, to me, a judge doing that should not just lose their position on the bench. If anybody should be held accountable above everybody else as far as following the law, should be a judge.
Sure.
So a judge should have legal consequences for doing that, not just lose their position on a bench.
Yes. And, you know, so they're trying to throw every monkey wrench they can into the operation of what the president's trying to get done. And obviously they're working towards the midterms. They want to try to use all this as a rally cry to try to, I think it's going to fail, but try to, you know, rally cry, rally to the flag, boys. Let's take them down in the midterms. And so they're pouring it out, you know, all over the country, all the protests. You're right. There's some financing going on. There's things that are happening that are nefarious. And, well, that's what they're known for. And they're going to do everything they can. You know, you got to worry about this media, too, this legacy media. They're always ready to help fabricate a story. They've been proved to do that many times, to fabricate a story in the short run. And they get found out later. They don't care. They don't even care how much they get fined. They'll create the story. They did it on George Bush. I'm not saying I'm a Bush fan, but they did it on him. Dan Rather created that document. That was, you know, one of them. They did it in other cases that were not even political. They have no problem with manipulating sound, creating false paperwork to try to get a story to blow up and damage somebody. Then they'll come back later and say, oh, well, we thought we had good sources on that. And, they just don't care. So it's amazing what we're getting done with all that we're fighting and all that's going on. And so some of this is obviously, like I said, I think it's a diversion to split MAGA, man. And you just can't let it happen. I cannot believe that the supporters of the president, and I'm passionate about it. I want to know what's has gone on with that, but I don't want to divide the people that I stand with and stand for the president. And here we are this weekend, the 1 year anniversary. One of the last things I'll get to, we're going to get off here in a few minutes, but James, your thoughts about the deputy director of the Secret Service who says we can't fire our way out of the problem, and he absolutely just suspended some of the agents for days or a couple of weeks or whatever it was.
With pay.
With pay. What the crap is that?
That's no punishment.
No. That's a vacation.
That is for one thing, for people who are okay with that, really, that if you're okay with that, then you're pretty much on the other side. If you're not with us, you're with them. And if you don't think those people ought to be fired, then you're with them. Because if anything, that at least lose their job because they have the inability to do their job correctly. And you cannot have that Secret Service is supposed to be the best of the best. I mean, these people are supposed to be willing to throw themselves in the front of a bullet for the individuals that they're there to protect, no matter what their politics is.
That's it.
And so these individuals were not capable of doing it. And they've been putting out a few stories about that whole morning or afternoon about what went on and who was supposed to handle the communication between the locals and Secret Service and how they just didn't give a shit. They just didn't care. They were more interested in Jill Biden's thing going on a few miles down the road, which she had almost 3 times the Secret Service in her detail. And matter of fact, some of his regular detail was taken off his detail and put on hers instead of these new people that was in that deal that day. They should have been with her. They left the experienced people who are used to handling Trump with him, but they did not. So at minimum, they need to be fired.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I guess we shouldn't be shocked anymore, but I really thought that was what was going to happen. What I say is the deputy director needs to fire himself. He absolutely failed at his job. This is a fail. To make that statement, we can't fire our way out of this. No, but we can fire some of the idiots that we had that almost let the president of the United States be slain when it was your job to do it. You're incompetent. You have no business being in our force. Go do something else. Go write traffic tickets or whatever. You can't do this anymore. And we're going to get better. And we're going to get better. And to the ones that's there, you put them on notice and you say, this will happen to you if you do not do your job correctly and defend the president at all costs. That's exactly what you do.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a shame this is where we're at. I never thought this country would have the mindset that it has right now. And, I blame myself as well as my whole generation of sending our kids to school and not paying enough attention to what they were being taught in school, because this ain't something that just happened, 8 years ago. This is stuff that they've been working on for 30, 40 years to work on the children, because they say if they'll take over a nation by taking over the children is how Hitler did it back in the day, where he made the youth want to tattletale on their parents. You know what I mean? Because they went against the Third Reich. So, they literally brainwashed children into turning their own parents in for something that is against what Hitler wanted to have done. That's what's happened here. It may not seem as bad as that, but if you think about it, seeing how the Constitution that we have, it's bad enough.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. These kids came back. They didn't recognize them. They were fully for the Reich, and they absolutely turned their parents in, burned them down. Some of those parents were killed even for comments they made and things. And those kids were almost soulless at that point. They were totally, everything was Hitler and SS and whatever needs to happen. They didn't care one bit about those people, their parents even dying or being locked up or losing their jobs or whatever it was. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, it is sad, these indoctrination centers that have become the schools where they teach a godless society filled with all sorts of sexual perversions, and they just want to continue to propagate that. Destruction of the nuclear family. Polly was mentioning to it. There's been a full-on attack on men in this country, and media and movies, even music, just making men look stupid. Tearing down their role in the family. Like, we don't need a man to raise kids. We don't need men for. Coming up with comments about them being sperm donors and all this crap, and tearing down what God Almighty has put together. And it's sick. And then making people think that it was some sort of sin to have kids, so that we can't overpopulate the earth. So the overpopulation groups, they got Americans down to where they barely have 2 kids a family. It's not enough to sustain the population. They don't tell them that. They don't tell the American people the truth.
And they even check, yeah, because and they've really convinced at least the college age kids that uh, getting out of college and maybe not following your career 100%, but maybe, try to get in a relationship and have children, which they are saying like modern day slavery for a woman is to be tied down to children. It's like, really? I can't believe that's what you're going with now. And I don't know. That's a whole topic by itself. You know what I mean? It's just like they, they've literally, young men today feel left out of everything because they're demonized for just being who they are. And that term toxic masculinity, there's a worse term that's more true, and that's toxic femininity. So I said that right, didn't I? Feminist, toxic feminist.
Yes.
Where they say, if you see the on the street interviews with, they do it all the time, especially like on YouTube or TikTok. You ask women, do they need men? And they'll say no, and they'll either like F men, they ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. If you ask men on the street, do you need a woman? Oh, we love women. Yeah, why wouldn't we? You know what I mean? It's completely two different worlds. And it's getting to the point where the men are like basically bowing out of the typical relationship because they don't see where they'll ever be treated correctly. They're treated like rapists. Straight off, it's like that. If you was to come across a man in a forest or a bear, who would you trust the most? And they always would. The women most of the time will pick a bear first because they really got it in their heads that there's a rapist, a rape culture in this country. That 30% of the men in this country commit rape. Bullshit.
Yeah, that's crap. And then you get into situations like, okay, there's a kid produced. They totally want to keep the man away from the child. They try to come up with they'll even invent, some of them will even invent false actions to try to make the man look guilty so that he can't get visitation. Then you get situations like where the guy, was it Texas? The guy could not get the one who had custody. She wanted to do the sex change on the kid, to give him all the puberty blockers and the hormone treatments and all that. And he was going to battle to try to stop that. I mean, he was just sickened by what was going on. She was wanting to turn the child into something else.
Well, I believe he lost his case.
He lost that case. You're absolutely right.
So it's the thing about that is, and I have to go from a man's point of view, and I'm sure there's probably even women who have, decent knowledge about this whole topic and really understand, where the men are coming from on this point of view. It's like the people don't understand the necessity of men in this world. First, they'll tell you it's men's fault we have all of our wars in this world. And that may be true to a certain point, but there's women that's created wars in this world too. The thing is like our rights are given to us by force. And you know what I'm saying when I say that? Yeah. You have no actual right just by being kumbaya kind of individual. For the rights that we have, they have been fought for, and they are protected by force. So, and who does the overwhelming force to protect these rights? Men. For all the bad things that a woman can say a man is bad for this world, you can come up with 10 different things that it makes it a good thing men are in this world. So I really, and like I said, that's a topic for another day because that, his and hers conversation can get pretty nasty.
Yeah, and I just want to get one more thing before we get off here tonight. Did you see the video? I think it was the Charlie Kirk thing where the lib Democrat gets out of his car and comes across to challenge all these supporters that are lined up to go in.
I played the video. Yeah.
Did you play the video? I love that video. I could watch it 1,000 times. He's just over there talking all smack. The police officer comes out of the crowd and just pile drives that guy into the ground. I love that.
Well, he swung on one of the people from the event there.
Yeah.
With the thing is he parks his car in the freaking traffic, feels the need to get out and yell at him, and starts coming across the other two lane of traffic to yell at him, and then because a lot of new cars look a lot alike, and they were hollering, "Hey, somebody's stealing your car! Somebody's stealing your car!" Because just as he turned around and looked, it looked like a car similar to his, the same color, was driving away, and his car was still parked in the street. So he starts running back, and when another person comes across the street and making fun of him for doing that, the dude swings on him.
Yeah.
So that's when the cop tackled that dude. You know what I mean? It was hilarious. I played that on my live stream. That's how ignorant they are. Or you'll see where they pull up and they gotta flip, a MAGA supporter off or mouth their stuff, and then they'll like spit at a MAGA supporter that's out there protesting or whatever, and then they'll hit the gas and drive their car right into a pole or something. You see that a lot. Yeah, so
I love it, man.
They don't the brain is I don't understand. I can't get how many people can be that brainwashed.
I know it.
And a lot of times they say we're brainwashed. Well, you know what? I even question myself. Am I the brainwashed one? I don't think so, because I ask questions about everything. I question everything.
You do, and you have reasoned arguments about it, and you're willing to adapt your thinking depending on what information you have. And that's where they don't do that. It's like, We're right, you're wrong. That's why liberal news podcasters that are liberal don't last. They fold up the tent every single time. They always will go down. They eat their own. They don't care. They can't have that kind of discussion over there. We're willing to have pretty heated discussion and then slap each other in the back and say, "Hey, it's good having a show with you." We're passionate, but we're willing to listen to someone else and measure that and adjust our thinking on it as we get more information.
Oh, absolutely. Like on Carl's live stream, I go, I'm on there a couple times a week. There's been some big differences of opinion on not necessarily what, the outcome, but how to get to that outcome. That's usually what the debates are about. And, Carl has his own way of thinking, and like I have my own way of thinking, and then a couple others are on there. They have their own way of thinking, how we should get there. I'm a little bit more harsher than Carl. Carl talks about, well, until you see, violence or death or whatever, you don't want that. You don't want it. The thing is in my life, I've seen that. So when I say I'm willing to go that direction, me and a couple other people gets on Carl's live stream, I mean it from knowing what that will look like, and I'm understanding what that'll take to get to where we need to be. He is not. He wants to get away from all that. But we love each other, man. He's like one of my best friends.
Absolutely.
We can have a difference of opinion, but
you're all friends.
All friends.
That's great. Yeah. I loved your statement one of the times. What was it you said? You made the statement, then you said, I'm one of his supporters. What was that statement you made? I love that. It's been about a month or two ago, probably 2 months ago, about, I don't know, dealing with the problems, in the nation, some of these people. And you said something about it. I'm one of the president's supporters. So basically going armed and taking these people, that are tearing our country down. But I love, you full on went there. I remember one show they had one show one night. And one of the guests, I think he totally like freaked out a little bit. He goes, "Hey, I don't want to go to jail." It scared him, just the fact that they were talking about that.
That's the thing is that, I'm old, I'm crippled. I'm at the end of my lifespan. The things I do, it's kind of like they say, an individual who plants a tree today will never get the chance to rest underneath the shade of the tree when it matures, because that tree is planted for generations beyond him.
Yes.
So I'm willing to take whatever needs to be done for my grandchildren and their children, because whatever I have to go through, to me, it's going to be worth it. And that even means being in the front line. And like I said, you put us crippled people in the front lines and let us take the first hits, and let us be the soldiers that softens up the front line. so people behind us that are stronger and more able to do it come in and finish the fight. So I am willing to do that. And when I say that, I don't say it lightly, because I'm thinking of the future. I'm not thinking of myself. I tell people all the time, quit. It's not it's we the people. So I have to
Amen.
think about we the people, not me. There's a lot of stuff. I'm on disability, and I'm on Social Security and all that. People are talking about all the cuts and everything. I don't care. Some of these things are needed to be done so the working age of this nation could come out ahead eventually and get back to the American dream. You know what I mean? I've
Amen.
had a pretty decent life. I really have, and I think I've lived in the greatest country that's ever been in this world, and I that's my motivation, and my grandchildren and their children is my my basis of doing everything that I do. So,
Amen. Well, we're honored to have you. I appreciate you coming up tonight. Thanks for all the folks in the chat. Y'all are blessing. Thanks for Angry Conservative and Cindy and Polly and others that came along. We appreciate you. We're all a big family of podcasters, and we support each other and we lift each other up. Give the Angry Conservative 1981 a follow. He just does awesome stuff. He's the one that dubbed me the Cornbread Man, and I took it and I like it, so it works. So it's just where it is. James, Empty Pockets podcast. Got tomorrow night be movie night, right?
it is, yeah.
What movie you showing?
Well, I was gonna go with something that's out of and the last 2 weeks I've done, because we're famous from the Jim Jones Guyana deal. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. That's what I always say. The people on the left that drink the Kool-Aid who are the true believers, because the Kool-Aid is laced with cyanide, people. And so last 2 weeks I did part 1 and part 2 of the Guyana tragedy, the movie based on Jim Jones and how he convinced 900 people to commit suicide.
Yeah.
So in this week, I'm probably going to do Days of Thunder.
Okay, cool.
And I have my Starlink equipment, people, because I have problems with my internet all the time. Anybody who watches my live streams know this. my internet sucks, but I have Starlink, but I got to get because it is satellite based. I've got to get a tree company to come in and cut away part of a tree section so I can get a clear view to the satellite that I need. So I'll have that in the next 2 weeks. So I'm really looking forward to having Starlink.
Awesome, my friend. I have thought about doing that here. We've been okay, but it's always something I'm thinking about.
Well, I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah, you'll be my guide on that. Also, we mentioned Killer Carl's program on Rumble. Kim's Coffee Talk. She's a blessing. I love her to death, and she's been coming in the streams. She'll be on in the morning. Her morning show will be on in the morning.
I'm torn in the mornings. I try to come in and your all's chat. I get in hers chat too, and I try to go back and forth, but it's kind of hard to do because you have to log off one and log into the other.
Yeah.
And so you guys come on a little bit earlier than she does. So if I'm up, I go with y'all for a while, and then I switch over to her, give her a little bit of time, and then she always calls me in to get on camera with her a lot. So I tend to do that a couple times a week sometimes. But she's good. She's bubbly. She looks at all this stuff in a very bubbly, positive way, and you got to love that. Her personality is infectious.
It really is. It really is. And also the Celtic Blacksmith, friend of the podcast. We've met through. I don't even remember how we met. I think I met him in Rumble. It's been a year ago now, right at a year ago, when we had him up for an interview, and we've just became fast friends. And I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. There's others out there, but
you got Big Tony. Big Tony Speaks.
Yeah, Big Tony. Thank you. Yeah, and I try to watch his stuff too. And I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, and I try not to. We do have our card we put up. We need to make card too, but we do promote those other Rumble creators. They're awesome. And thanks for all you people that watch that don't podcast, but you support podcasters. You're a blessing. And we have a passion for what we do. We enjoy it, or we wouldn't do it. And, we appreciate your listening and commenting and following and sharing out. Again, in the morning, big morning, the coffees are going up and kicking out. We're ready to roll out the Southern Fried Coffee and excited about it. Our store is open. Big news going on here at the old Radio Ranch, as they used to say here in town. We've got some more news coming. Y'all pray for us. And hopefully be a great week this week. Next weekend, I'll be in Camilla, Georgia with Rob, and we'll be live streaming from the Sawega Ag Fest in Camilla, Georgia. And we look forward to just live streaming, talking to a lot of people, introducing you to some great Americans, farmers, James, those people that get out there and grow stuff for us that we can have food to eat, unless you grow it yourself. So I'm from Georgia, Polly. James is Ohio, and we became friends through podcast, and I'm honored to know James, and he's a blessing. Thanks for coming up tonight, man. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we'll see you folks tomorrow, and absolutely yay for our farmers. Broski, you take care. Everybody else, I'm sure I'm going to leave somebody out. We'll go out with some music, and hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Full week of podcasting. I've got elections on Tuesday. I'm going to try to come in and broadcast a little bit when I get in from elections. It's going to be a very slow. It's a runoff, but we'll be doing that after the live on Friday morning. I'll be on the road with the family, headed to Camilla. Looking forward to that. Should be a great weekend. Let's pray for the president. Pray for the president. A lot going on, and we need to make sure that we just soak him in prayer. There's a lot of stuff going on. We'll see what kind of explosive stuff comes out as we get into the first part of the week. And let's just hope it's all good for America. That's all I'll say, right? Take care. Absolutely. God bless. We'll see you soon.
southern people, like a small town, nothing's real. Mama's still doing wrong, don't tell the preacher. Nothing really changes except the weather. If you can't say something nice, you don't say nothing at all. Don't want you up in my life, 'cause you talk too much. I could leave it all Why does it hurt?